Okay, that was some Tesla Grad music while I was clicking at all the buttons in the background here. Okay, so today I am going to do a tiny bit of a different stream. I'm not gonna stream a game, but I got this idea from watching a Canadian YouTube streamer called Thomas Champ. He's an ambassador of Fun Run 3, which means I think that he streams it every day a couple of times. And those streams are a lot of fun. You should check them out. Very good vibe in his stream. So, but we got talking about Fun Run, of course, and I always have to brag about making the music and stuff. I can't not say it. So, and when we talked about this, he asked about a couple of things, and I thought to do just a little stream by myself, all alone in the studio, talking to myself and nobody else. And going through some of the processes behind the Fun Run music and the Fun Run sound effects. So, how did I get to start working with Dirty Bit? It was before I even knew any of them. They had done Fun Run, the original game, and Fun Run 2, which I had no part in. But the year that Fun Run 2 was released, I was a referee or judge on the Norwegian Game Awards, and one of the nominated games for Best Sound was Fun Run 2. So I had to play the game, and some of the sounds in Fun Run 2 was really good, I thought. But I thought Fun Run 2 lacked kind of a... well, when you're a referee, you're kind of in a different mindset, so you're so critical. So, but I kind of missed a more cohesive soundscape or sound design. And but after the Game Awards was done, I kept playing Fun Run 2. It was so fun. It's an awesome game, and I thought it's like something magical. They had made a really good handheld game. It's perfect for handheld devices. It's so quick to start, so quick to learn, and takes a long time to master, of course. And yes, but I kept playing it. And then when they contacted me, I couldn't believe it. A dirty bit about Fun Run 3. It's like, yes, I want to do this, of course. Jan, can you make sounds for us? Yes. Pretending that I'm not like totally just besides myself from excitement for being asked about that, because Fun Run 2 was that fun. But then of course I had done a lot of the critical thinking about what I would have done differently in Fun Run 2, so I already had all these ideas for Fun Run 3 when I started that, which was good because the people at Dirty Bit, I gave some direction about the music, but I didn't have a lot of thoughts behind the sound design. So one of the first things I did was to make a kind of a set of rules or like guidelines or hooks for myself, kind of narrowing down. Is that what you do? Yeah. You set kind of borders for yourself, and that kind of starts the creativity. So I made some like hook words for myself, and of course the sounds had to be fun, and they had to be run, which means they had to be more. Every sound should start like it was fast, like everything was happening very speedily around you. And then I also wanted, well, it was of course important for me that all the sounds were kind of coming from the same universe as the visuals. So every sound should sound like it's made from some of the material that you can see that the Funrun maps are made from. And I also wanted, in general, the sounds to be more snappy. I'll see if I remember this. I will show some examples. Blah, blah, blah. It's early morning here. No, it's not. It's 2. But I'm a lazy composer. Just got to the studio. Where was I? My train of thoughts. Okay, so I'm gonna show that. So, like for example, in Funrun 2, like the bear trap sound is kind of, but I wanted it to be like, you know, more action, more snappy. So I did that. And also, since the characters in the Funrun arena is these cute little animals, I kind of wanted to sneak in animal sounds. And I remember, I don't think the guys at Dirty Bit really understood the idea or was too keen about it. But it's a bit like, I'll show it later. It's, you know, the recipe for Coca-Cola or Coke, the drink. It's citrus and cinnamon and vanilla, but it's blended in a way so you can't distinguish the different ingredients. And that's what I wanted to do with the sounds as well, is like have mixing in these animal sounds, but you can't hear them. They're just part of the total experience. Yes, excuse-moi. So that's kind of the story behind how the Funrun arena design. So, and I also promised to play some of the music ideas, because we did go through a couple of ideas before we landed, and I have to remember to mute my microphone when I play this. So the first idea I thought of for the music, for the menu, was to use all the sound effects, to kind of have like a little musical motif leading up to a sound effect, and then the melody carries on, new sound effect. Because I thought one thing the Funrun 2 did really well was a lot of the sounds became kind of like a signature, like the saw blade, and you remember those, so they are kind of hooky, so like almost like a musical hook or motif. So I wanted to incorporate that in the music. That was the first idea, and I'm going to play that right now. And then it, yeah, well, that was just a rough sketch of it. But I think they thought I was a bit too crazy, and I might agree with them on that. So after that we tried a different, just shorter ideas, and this one is called Shower Idea, 17th of November. So it's an idea I got while I was taking a shower at home, and I drove down to the studio to create it. So let's listen to that. So yeah, so you hear it's a bit of the same kind of musical idea behind that. It's a melody kind of leading up a question, and then there's a payoff or an answer with like some rhythm or something. So, and a lot less crazy than the first one, but not still the idea they liked. So I don't remember what came next. This is a jingle. It says orchestra idea jingled MP3. But yeah, I think so. This is a sugar overdose. It says. So we're just trying to play on the cuteness of the animals a bit. But let's move on to the jingle, and I think we're getting closer to what the Fun Run theme ended up being. And click all the buttons. So here's an idea, or like a tool I'm using when you kind of have to make ideas, new musical ideas, is to take some words and just use the rhythm of those words to make a melody. And the rhythm here is, of course, Fun Run, and that became later the main theme, as you will hear in the next MP3. But so Fun Run. So I made like a sentence: Fun Run. It's fun run, fun run. It's so fun to play Fun Run. So it's fun run, it's so play to play fun run. No, it's so fun to play fun run. Yeah, whatever, I can't do it, but you get the idea. And you'll hear the familiar melody in the next MP3. And I did make some other arrangements of it first, but the guys that do it a bit like this reggae-ish, laid-back version. And I think you'll recognize it if you have played Fun Run 3. Okay, sorry, didn't need to start playing the next one. So I'm not sure if that is the final file that's in the game or not, but I can hear it's a pretty finished project. There's some tricks here. Okay, first, there's the musical motif idea is, as I said, fun run. It's so fun to play Fun Run. But it also has that idea of like a melody leading up to a little answer, like a little hook. And when I did this, when we played the file, there's a little answer with of the flutes. Bing, bum, bum, bing, bum, bum, bum. Just like that. And I also hear when you are making music for tiny, puny cell phone speakers, there's some tricks. And I can hear there's something here that will make a problem. With the cello pizzicato being so kind of muddy and murky, and it kind of takes up so much space in the music, and takes away from the stuff you can actually hear on those tiny speakers. But so what I do a lot is you hear the flute, you hear the cello, and you hear like the main instruments, but kind of hidden behind them are these really staccato and full synth sounds, which kind of like punches the sound out through those tiny little speakers, and it has like much higher frequencies, but they're still kind of in the back, so it does sound like a flute, but it's a flute with the aid of a synthesizer in the back. But you never know, but there's a difference when you listen to it on the speakers on your telephone. So, and then continuing on, I say the next one is the Halloween theme, and that's kind of a fun thing they're doing with the Fun Run Arena. Is they, I think they're gonna have like 4 events every year. So there's Halloween and there's Christmas and there's they just did Valentine's Day or something like that. And so I get to make versions of the theme, which is a lot of fun. It's so much fun. And the first one they did was the Halloween theme. I think I did a couple of different variations on that, and this might be the one we ended up on. Let's play it. Okay, yeah, that was the Halloween theme. So what? Okay, last thing first is the loop point. So these sound files are all made to loop, and this one is made to loop seamlessly. You're not supposed to feel like it has stopped and started over. So the start of the file is actually the end of this. Okay, oh well, it won't loop here, but so that's kind of a compositional trick or productional tip for these types of game music cues. So you kind of shift the music around. So this is the start and this is the end, but the loop point is kind of like everything is moved within the project. So the actual loop of the file is on not such an obvious spot. And there's some tricks you can do, like there's a little melody line leading up and at the end of the file, and it kind of continues at the start of the file, so you will never know it when you listen to it that it has looped. And one problem is, of course, if you have reverb on, a lot of reverb going, your brain will catch that the tail of the reverb is not dying off properly. So you have to think about that, and you put some extra instruments in the middle. No, in this beginning, that will kind of mask that transition. Not sure if this is making any sense at all, but these are things to consider when you make music like this. And so Halloween, so all the cliches, we had like the little spooky synth line in the beginning. So that's just like a theremin, like a sinus synth with lots of plate reverb on it to make that kind of 20s sci-fi feel. Church organ, of course. So the drum track underneath it is exactly the same as it is in the original version. So I think I kept that for laziness or for cohesiveness, one of the two, or a mix. Okay, and like it has one of those sounds I talk about. You will never hear it, but in the background there's like this group of girls screaming. I hear it because I know it's there, but it's kind of like, it sounds like the upper harmonic of the church organ, but it goes. Aah! Okay, what else is here? Harpsichord, of course. So the flutes, they are the same as the original theme, just for continuation. Yeah, and the harpsichord. So, Halloween version. The next one they did was a Christmas. Let's turn off my microphone and play the Christmas music. So it starts on the big church bell, like I said, to mask the loop point. And okay, so what you have: bells, glockenspiel, some of the horns are back. That sounds Christmassy to me. And glockenspiel, yeah, what else is here? Oh yeah, and also the fun run theme is melody. The hook is really short. Fun run, and that's basically it. So, and repeat it. And so see, I am doing different type of variations of the melody here in this Christmas and in the Halloween version. And I also have this little like breakdown or whatever in the middle here. Where is it? Yeah. Just giving people a little bit of break, basically, from the melody for like a half a minute or so. So, and in the game, when the music starts in the menu, and then you go play a match, and then you come back, and the music just continues wherever it left off last time. But I still think it's nice to not, and I think that's a good idea, because not starting immediately over, that's kind of a nagging. Yeah. So, Christmas versions. How do you make Christmas? You add sleigh bells. And you have a Christmas version. Okay, moving on. What's next? Oh yeah, that's the most recent one. It's the love version. So they had this Valentine-ish type of event where you could like give awards and gifts to other players. And so love version of the fun run team was that. To me, that's like 60s, you know, the love generation, flowers and flowers in your hair in San Francisco. So let's just play that and not talk. so smooth at stopping the file in the correct time. So it's a bit shorter than the other ones. Okay, so it's the same length in bars, but as you heard, it's sped up, which is something I wanted to do from the very beginning, but a dirty bit like the original tempo, if you remember the very first theme. So 60s vibe, what you got there? You got the transistor organ playing the melody. Yeah, so it makes it sound like kind of like a Doors or mix of Doors and Austin Powers type. There's actually, I did make a version where I'm doing kind of a really Doors-ish organ solo, like Light My Fire in the middle here. But I thought that would be too much, so I did the instead of that I did the breakdown. So what else do we have here? Let's okay, so you have those guitars with a tremolo effect on it to make it kind of like Birds or even Beatles sounding. And you have not the Höfner bass, but I don't remember the brand, but the kind of a 60s sounding bass guitar. So I switched out the original bass. And of course the drums have a new rhythm and everything. You know, gone is the reggae, instead is the 60s pop kind of backbeat. Tambourine! Can't make hippie music without a tambourine. And it is, of course, this one, this tambourine. Okay, so the drums are a mix of two kind of sample sets. That's so geeky, but maybe someone cares. One is the 60s kit from Contact, or from the Complete Library, and the other is from like something called 60s A Go-Go. But yeah, I can hear that is the mix. And the flutes, of course, same flutes as the original theme, but in this context it sounds more 60s. And sitar, can't be Summer of Love without some Indian influence. Yeah, I like this version a lot. Oh, and Lynn-Cathrine, my colleague, Tesla Grad composing colleague, who is also a sound effect in Fun Run Arena, which I will show in a little bit. She's doing the backup voices. So let's listen for her. Trying to show where she's bada bada. She sings in the background. And I think that's it for the sound files. I'm not going to show any of the trailers and stuff. Maybe I should. No, it's going to take forever then. Let's move on to some of the sound effects. So like I said, some of the sound effects from Fun Run 2 are, I thought of it like really good, like, and kind of a signatures of the game, like the saw blade and the bear trap and all those sounds. So they kind of made it into Fun Run 3. That would be, to me, that's the logical thing to do. It would be strange if it felt, you know, alien or to the players. But as I said, I've done a lot of tweaks on them, and a lot of that was about making them snappier, speedier, and hiding animal sounds and stuff, organic stuff inside them. So for making them speedier, if you know what a Doppler effect is, like when a ambulance drives by, so you have the rising of the pitch to feel like something is accelerating or coming towards you, or just speed in general. So a lot of the sounds have, like, I think all of them actually are rising in pitch. Some obviously, some more obvious than others, but all the sounds kind of going so it's always a speed. And and the snap. I'm gonna show some of the project's files, and you can see how I kind of mix it together. So when I start working on the sounds, what I do is like I collect like ingredients, a long list of stuff I think kind of from this, sounds like it's from this universe, and then I start like mixing and baking and making the cake, which is the sound. And I work on them in, actually I did all this in Reaper. I didn't use any like game design sound effects middleware because the project is not big enough. It's easier to just keep track of it on a list, I think, and have individual project files per sound. Yeah, for a game of this size, it makes sense to me. But I'll show that. But after they've been in the Reaper files, like you see, and then I'll do some more tweaks on them in like SoundForge or something, and like mastering them. And so speed. You heard this sound, I guess. And I'll show you the source of this sound. It's this toy. Oh, that's one of the words I forgot. It's toys, because I think the animals look like toy-like. So a lot of the ingredients are me just recording different toys. And this one is supposed to go on your bike handle, and you can go. And that's the basis of that sound. It's so loud. I'm gonna move back a bit from the microphone. So when that is recorded, it's pitched and tweaked and stuff, and it sounds. And so you can hear that sound. There's also some like skidding sounds in the beginning, which is like probably a car skidding. And one sound I didn't think they would approve at all, but I think they improved most of them immediately when I made them. But one that I made for fun, because it's my type of humor, and I never thought they would approve, was the when you're bouncing on the mushrooms, and it's a fart, and it's this little guy mixed with like a sound, and I think it's funny. Excuse me while I giggle at my own humor. So think of that next time you bounce on a mushroom. It's like, it's a fart. It's also mixed with, I haven't prepared that sound, but it's mixed with, you know what a tubulum? It's like a PVC tubes, and you hit them with a paddle. Bump, bump. So is that mixed with the pig and the fart. Okay. Okay, these two. No, where did you go? Magnet, hit, and magnet, activate. Those two. Are from an old recorder, like tape recorder, which I'm just rewinding. It makes sense because that's what you're doing. You're rewinding the other players. So the hit is just a start. No, the hit is actually when the tape is really sped up, and the activate is, yeah, just me starting the rewinding. And I thought that would work because it's basically the same idea as the other ideas. They're starting and they're being sped up and rising in pitch. And what was I going to show? Trap activate. Yeah, and that's one of the sounds from Fun Run 2, but you can hear it goes, it kind of raises in pitch as opposed to the Fun Run 2 version, which was straight. And it's just to make it a bit more stuff is happening around you. Okay, nearing the end of my list of rambling stuff. Let's see. Let's look at Bear Trap. I'm opening a Reaper project in the back here. I'm gonna move it to the screen you're looking at. See, does this work? Yeah, it looks like it's working. So what do we have here? This is when you're caught in the trap. Caught in a Trap sounds like an 80s love song. Let's see. Okay, so here are the sounds from Fun Run 2, and let's find the trap there. No, that's when you're dropping it. Yeah, so this is oh yeah, that's part of the design. So and it's fun, it's bloody, it's gory, and it's humorous together with the cute animals, because they're cute and contrasted with all the blood. So he really went for that splat blood effect. But that, like I said, I wanted it a bit snappier. So it's more like punching through those tiny speakers. And let's look at the different elements here. And that's just a build-up sound. Like kind of the trap clamping down. What's this? That's just a trap. Snap. Spring. Another spring type sound. Snap. A whip. I did that actually a lot. I mixed in a whip sound because it has a whee kind of snap and whip and speed that I want. So here's I have to turn this up because it has one of my secret ingredients, the animals. So that sounded like a pig, but it's actually a horse. It's probably pitched up a lot. And this is a recording I made. I worked on some horse movies down all over Europe. And this is a young horse. Oh my god, this is gonna be such a geeky story. A young horse, like 2 years. So basically a horse teenager. And he was in this booth, and next to him was a girl horse, and on the booth next to him there was another girl horse, and he was tied in the middle, and he was so frustrated. So that's what they call it, frustrated horse. He wanted the contact with the horses, you can say. So that frustration translates into the frustration of being trapped in a trap in Fun Run. And high pitch because you're a cute little animal. Okay, there's also a lion here, which didn't make it into the final version of the sound. It has a pig, so just a pig screaming, and some blood, and altogether it may sounds like this. So you don't hear the horse or the pig, but it's organic and it's snappy, which was the idea. I wanted to find one of the ones where Linkatrine is, so excuse me while I just poke around here. What is it, a roulette sound when she is? It's a remote, so I think she might be here. Yeah, okay. That's you're starting a remote. And there's a sound you hear. Where is she? Yep. That sound you might recognize because it made its way into a few of the different cues. So this is actually my colleague again, Linkatrine. And that's a little bit pitched. It's pitched 7. Let's see, can I pitch it down? Yeah, this is what it sounds normally. So that's her original voice. She can make these super high pitched sounds. So she made it into this game and also in World to the West. The little cute squirrel animals. That's her voice. So something fun to think about when you play that game. So should we kind of dissect this as well? That's the sound of the animal dying. And what's this? Oh yeah, another mix. So there's 2 pitches at the same time. Little harmony. steel plate, just something coming in at you. And what is this? Oh, another anvil. That's the sound. Fun. And to finish off here, I hope this works. Let's see, snow. That's my favorite of them all, if I can find it. Snowstorm. No, I'm also gonna show the what is it called? Wasps. Excuse me again. Beehive, here we are. That's a fun sound. I wanted to show that because someone specifically asked about that at some point. That's not it. It's probably here. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. So this is it has some instruments. Those are trumpets. And okay, so here you can hear the pitching I'm talking about. This is the original sound, wasps. So straightforward, and then I bend it up. Like, and one going down. So together, all the three wasps sound like this. So the idea was like you kind of surrounded by these bees. And then there's the trumpets. Oh yeah, and an air raid siren for some reason. I don't remember my thought behind that. Like danger or something, I don't know. But the trumpets are therefore like classic cartoon movie effect. Like what would a Bugs Bunny cue be when you are eaten by wasps? So that's what they sound like together. No, don't save that, and then find the last one again. Snowstorm. Let's see, I haven't checked this before I started this stream, so I hope it works. Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? So that's what trigger it. That's the trigger sound. So snowstorm obviously is wolves howling in the background, lightning strike and some wind. So that was the idea there. So an animal and nature and stuff. And so the idea behind that snow thing is like you're frozen. You can't do anything. You just have to kind of be one with the universe and sit and wait. So it's kind of like sort of like a meditation type ding 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 type of idea. And then you're off again. So it's a bit too long. It's longer here than it's in the game because, like I said, afterwards I tweaked the timing and stuff in a different program. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about in this stream. So hello to all my new Fun Run streamer friends. And stop by some other time to see another stream. We're gonna play some more games on this channel and start talking about the Mesmer music, which is the third game from Rain Games in the Teslagrad series. So it's Teslagrad, World Trade West, and now we're doing Mesmer, which is set in kind of a mix of the Benelux, Netherlands, France, mostly France, in my mind. Their version of Europe, and I think we are starting to get a good direction on the music there, so I think it's safe to start showing stuff. And it's going to be an awesome game. But I'm going to hit the stop button. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta.